Oh, you got it.
Mostly the pipeliners. And they'd be, I forget what the guys, Dad had a good friend that they'd always look for them as close together as they could, so they could ride together in a car and it would work. And,
Art Wollaston?
no, dear. And don't try to make me remember because I'll forget everything. But they rented from this one couple and they had a girl, little 2-3-year-old girl the same age as me. And we crawled up onto the chairs, onto the table, over onto a cabinet top, opened the door and climbed up one step inside the cupboard to get the cookie jar off the top where nobody could reach it. Dropped the cookie jar, smashed the cookie jar, fell off the table.
Got your butt wet.
I don't know, they didn't go into that part. The story got so funny to them, they just laughed. We evidently didn't get hurt. But
That's where Tucker got it.
you didn't get hurt, no. You know, it just fell and that was it. Hell, nobody took the doctor. If you started to cry, they just, laughed at you, let you go and cry. You're done with it, why it's over.
There's a little
Did
pack.
they even have an emergency room then?
Yeah, you've been dead to get the doctor anyway back in some of the places we were up in Florida County. Another place that's,
So when did he get off the line?
hmm?
When did he get off of being a lineman?
Oh, that was just a job that he had as a company, and then he actually worked for, well, no, he worked for the United Natural Gas Company. And then I don't know where it was, but they decided they'd open up or had some jobs available. And Dad was really a good equipment operator. So they asked him to go to work for them, and he grabbed the job because he nobody had jobs. And so he ran most of the time a Cleveland baby digger. And I don't know whether you know what that is or not, but it's one of those things with a great big old wheel on the back that goes around and picks up a ton of dirt and
yeah.
funnels it off to the side.
Yeah.
And he ran one of them for most of the time for the company. But then when he didn't have any work for that, he would be a truck driver, he could be a bulldozer operator, anything they had up for him to run while he would run. And then they had what they call cleaning out machines for the, not the deep well gases, but deep wells, but the shallow well. They would clean them out every so often. And in the winter times when they, not the winter time, the summer times when they did most of them, the ground would stiffen up. So they'd get on it again, that's when they'd start doing the stuff back in the woods and stuff like that. But he was really good at his job, so that would have been about 1937, probably something like
Yeah,
that.
it's right in the middle of the Depression.
And so then he worked for them from then until,
Those warm up. No, I don't think
must have been 1946, maybe 45. Maybe. And, and World War II.
so. That's,
So he was old enough he didn't have to go to the war.
Well,
I think she's burnt.
he didn't go to the war because his age put him right on the edge of deferment. And so they never, his
Never got that
draft
far.
never came up. That's the
Okay.
reason he never went to serve.
Yeah, she's like
But he,
flower.
there's more to that story.
what did he do after he did the heavy equipment operator?
No, that's when he went, well, all the time, but what he did from the door was,
You want a fork?
I can't think now, I'm really just getting more confused, so. I didn't mean about the fork, I meant about what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
That girl, the guy I had today, has been through this before because she would ask me a question and I would start to tell her and then she would answer me. And I'd just stop and think a little bit and then what I was thinking about went out of my head. And I said, I'm sorry, but I just can't do this. And she said, no, I'm sorry, she said, I won't interrupt you anymore. said, well, I don't know where I ended. And she would say, well, you were doing this other stuff. She'd build up to it. Well, she's done it before.
It's just become such habit for people
I suppose.
to finish somebody's sentence.
Oh, yeah. Or not even finished. Get into more in the conversation, Brian, not even talking about the same thing, just say something else. A lot of people interrupt. Boy, I don't like that. Never have. We had guys at the plant come, yeah, two guys would stand talking and come walking over and just butt right into the conversation and start talking. The world's full of them people.
I never interrupt Jill unless she's talking.
That's right. Man, you're trained well.
Right? I do it a lot to you, I know.
Yeah, all of us have habits. Most of them are bad. Oh, I know what I was going to tell you. About the billy goats. 3 or 4-year-old kid on an old farm. Just, dirty old farm. Just a regular old farm where the pigs were there and the goats were there and chickens were there. Just went out and played in it all day long. Mom said she was coming out of the house. I come around the corner, had a big piece of meat in my hand, chewing on it. Me eat bigo, me eat bigo. Mom said she grabbed that piece of meat. You're not eating bigo, Billy goat. Me eat bigo, me eat bigo. Now, mind you, my dad's probably 5 years old because I still couldn't talk like
What was it?
bigo, Billy goat. That's what the farmer did, the lady did. Butcher the billy goat.
Oh, they've given it to you. I don't know, probably didn't taste that bad. Probably tasted a little bit like
Chicken.
tough lamb or something.
Yeah. You know, all these tin cans and anything get their teeth around.
That is one of those things I just don't understand. It's
What?
how goats can just eat anything.
No.
I just like they're a garbage machine.
And then I know people that, Bully McCleary for one, he had a horrible stomach. He had to buy all
Goat's milk.
goat's milk so he could eat, drink. He claimed it kept him going. Of course, he kept drinking too.
They probably didn't pasteurize it. They say that pasteurized milk kills the enzyme that breaks down the lactose.
Probably. Plus the fact that you get all the good stuff out of it to put in something else. So it's all left in kind of a clear liquid. There's a different guy there, and he's got a shorter beak, ain't he? Yeah. Yeah, maybe just the way he's sitting there.
Sauce right here.
Dad was laying in a hospital bed in Brookville when World War II ended. With a broken hip. And he never went back to work for John Boyer and Knox. He came home and come back over when John and told him that he was going to quit the job. He was really appreciative of the fact that he'd give him a job whenever he... No, Dick, you're lying. That didn't happen at all. He went come back to after the war. He came back to John Boyers, and went to work for him, and that would have been 46, 47, right at the end of World War II. As soon as he recovered.
He was in the war?
1950, 1948, he went into business for himself, I think. He was in that business until 1955. His wrist went bad and he couldn't hardly breathe his wrist. I went to the doctor in Greenville. The doctor told him that he had the wrists of an 80-year-old man and that they were just no good and there was nothing to be done for him. So he went to, we were working in J.G. Montgomery, who was president of the United Natural Gas Company. And we was working in his kitchen, and it was in hunting season because he was cleaning his. He had a little room off the kitchen just like this, and he was out there with his shotgun cleaning it up. He just came in from hunting, and we'd been putting linoleum in their floor. And Dad went over and sat down with him, and we'd finished, and he went over, and J.G. was writing out a check for the job. Dad said, J.G., he said, you made me a promise one time. He said, I'd just like to know how you feel about it now. And he said, well, what's that, Mac? And he said, well, you promised me that if I ever wanted another job to come back to see you. And I just want to know if that still stands, because I need another job. And, Saturday, he got a call to come to the office in Oil City. Talked to the secretary, who was, when I say secretary, he was secretary of the organization. I mean, he was the people we went. It's like, I suppose, HR today. I don't know.
Right.
And they talked. Of course, Dad and him knew each other from. They lived in Sigel together at one time. And he told Dad. He said, "Well, he says, I guess you know the right people." He says, "You got a job." He says, "When do you want to go to work?" Dad said, he said, I need at least 2 weeks. And he said, okay. He says, 2 weeks it is. And he said, 2 weeks from today, you go to work right here in this office. He says, show up with office clothes. And Dad showed up in suit and tie, the whole 9 yards.